We spun around. The massive form of the school gardener loomed above us. It always reminded me of a big round bear, going about his business with a happy smile. But now his face was dark with rage, and he wielded a spade as though it were a weapon. And although we'd seen him walking around the school many times before, we'd never spoken to him. Now that we were, his accent sounded foreign, thick and harsh. "Well?" he demanded impatiently. "I want truth. What you doing damaging my plants?" Pansy's jaw dropped, and she jumped away from the dangerous-looking spade. "I didn't. I was anchored to the ground, my anger flat. I pointed to the skeleton. What is that doing in your garden?" He gave the skeleton a glance and shrugged. "It's dead animal I found," he roared back at me. "Bones very good for the soil." The angrier he grew, the thicker his accent became. His W sounded like V's, and vice versa. "Now be on your way." "It's not edible," retorted Topaz. "That's a human skeleton, and that's a human skull." The spade rose in the air as the gardener fumed. "You don't know what you're talking about." "And what's more," I feel back, "there's a spike through the body, and its head is between its feet. That means it's a vampire." Pansy's courage had returned. "Gabriel's right. There's a dead vampire in your garden, and we want to know how it got there." "It's not vampire," the gardener bellowed. "Now go, go, go." He waved the spade over his head like a deadly broadsword. We bolted back to the cafeteria. Miss Nora was the first teacher we saw. I ran straight up to her and said, "Miss Nora, there's a body in the garden." "It's a vampire body too," Pansy blurted out. Miss Nora peered at us through her rimless glasses. "If you're trying to be funny, you'll all be on detention," she promised. "It's true, Miss Nora," Topaz explained. "It's a skeleton with a metal spike through it, and its head is between its feet." Miss Nora glared at her. Topaz stunned. "Let me warn you, if you're trying to be smart with me, you'll have detention and double homework." "Honestly, Miss Nora, it's a dead vampire," I pleaded, gripping her elbow. "Please come and see it." Miss Nora narrowed her gaze. Her eyes were like cold and steel. "Very well," she agreed and followed us back to the garden. As soon as we left the cafeteria, a sense of alarm stole through my body. There was no sign of the gardener, not anywhere. He seemed to have vanished into thin air. As we drew nearer to the garden, I could see that the hole was still there, but even before we reached it, something told me that we'd find it empty.